So yeah, he's got his whole entourage. So I'm sitting there warming up. People are walking by. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? No one's acknowledging me. Like everyone's kind of mean mugging me. So I'm like, oh, okay.
It's that type of vibe.
It's going down. So now I'm like hitting my chin. I'm like walking back and forth. I'm doing my like, pumping myself up. Because I got, you know what I'm saying? The adrenaline hit me. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
Nah. And I see these big cameras. I was like, nah, you guys aren't I'm not going viral today. And you got me fucked up. And so yeah, I'm warming up or whatever. Like, and now like I think they see my intensity. So whoever it was like his people with him. They're all starting to kind of look at me and say, "What's up now?" And I'm like, "What's up, bro? Like, blah, blah. Hey, how long you been doing this?" I'm like, "Not today. Let me focus." So we get in the ring. We did 5 3-minute rounds, 5 2-minute rounds, 5 3-minute rounds, and I just beat him up every round.
Yeah,
he's not bad though. Let me give it to him. Like he stood his ground. You know what I'm saying? He knew how to box. He had a good jab. He knew how to sit down on his punches. But there's levels to this, man. Get a bad rap in the UFC. I'm with it.
Oh man, that's how I'm pretty sure if I was about to come out for a fight, this is what I'd be doing. You know what I'm saying? Get in my zone. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's your motherfucking boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm talking about? Bald version, but still beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, God, I am oh so very ecstatic to introduce the powerhouse of a guest that we have today. But ladies and gentlemen, before we do have a beautiful co-host that I'm gonna introduce as well. We got Christian Bickish in his house. Christian, my brother, how's everything going?
Everything is going great. It's a beautiful Sunday. We're doing this.
Yes,
I couldn't be surrounded by a better group of people.
That's what I'm saying. Are you ecstatic to get to know the guest that we had before us today?
I'm ecstatic. I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
I don't want to, he's not someone that I would mess with personally.
Bro, after you see his fight footage, you see some of them highlights, you know what I'm saying? I would get nervous too.
I just saw one of his knockouts right before we started
Oh, bro,
and it
man.
was crisp. It was clean. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was. Also, big shout out to camera woman extraordinaire Katya in his house. Katya, how's everything going? I know you got your hair done recently. It looks amazing.
Thank you very much.
I try. Ladies and gentlemen, how do I introduce Christian? I'm gonna need some help because I don't know how do I put forth, you know what I'm saying? How do I introduce someone? You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, the man before me has got a record of 5-1 in his professional career. You know what I'm saying? The man before me is a brown belt. You know what I'm saying? I was oh so very honored, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be there at that belt ceremony myself. So congratulations on that, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, the man before me was able to get the man who recently fought Masvidal, Colby Covington, into prime tip-top shape in order to bring home that dub. The man before me is training day in and day out, and every single time that I have an MMA fighter, I do stress, you know what I'm saying, how these people, they dive into training every day. You know what I'm saying? They put blinders every single day to be able to make a dream happen. You know what I'm saying? They are the definition of not wanting a short-term gratification, but working for long-term gratification. You know what I'm saying? Chip in every single day that 1%. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to be able to introduce, for the first time in the Midnight in Miami halls, we have Collin Lubberts!
The one and only.
You know what I'm saying? Collin, brother, how are you?
I'm amazing, man. Thank you guys for having me, by the way.
Of course, man.
Definitely been a long time coming.
Yes.
You've had my whole circle of friends in here.
You know what I'm saying? And big shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, prior guests. Collin, brother, talk to us. First of all, before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to know, how's your Sunday been?
So far, so good, man. You know, Sunday sets up Monday. So.
There we go, man. I was already dropping an inspirational nugget, you know what I'm saying? God. Collin, I want to talk. There's so many things to you know what I'm saying, to dive into. You know what I'm saying? We have an illustrious career. We have a brown belt. We have UFC 272 merely a week out. You know what I'm saying? From there, talk to us. How was that experience for you? Like you said before we started recording, it was, I believe, a week and a day from today. Talk to us about UFC 272.
Yeah, man. It's awesome experience for me. A huge blessing for me to be a part of that group over there.
Okay.
You know, Colby came into the gym a little over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, and we started training together. Thank God he made me like one of his closest training partners, and he's taking me out to these experiences, which has been great, man. So yeah, 272 is awesome. Fucking you know, Vegas. First time out there in Vegas to see a big crowd in the T-Mobile Arena.
Right.
The rivalry, honestly. Everybody knows how serious that was.
Right.
So being a part of that, I got him in a little interview on Embedded.
Hey, I saw that. Cool. I saw that. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was good though, man. Being able to see the UFC and just seeing the level they're at and how I'm not far from them at all. It's just very eye opening.
Does it like light a fire up under your ass to be able to train where some of the biggest names in the history of the sport have trained at?
Oh, huge. There's no more motivation than that. Like I was saying, like you see these guys when I was coming up, like these guys were celebrities to me.
Right.
Oh yeah. And now it's like I'm starting to see that like I'm at this level, and they're no longer idols. They're not my rivals.
Damn. Wow. Oh, damn. That's. Talk to us about MMA Masters. How long have you been there? Talk to us about your journey with MMA Masters.
MMA Masters, the greatest gym on the earth.
You know what I'm saying? Let them know.
That's my chapel.
Okay.
So I've been with MMA Masters, I want to say like 5 solid years now. I've known about them for like 7 or 8.
Okay.
My journey here has been amazing, man. They've turned me from a good fighter to a great fighter to soon to be the best fighter in the world.
Hey.
But no, man, the coaches, it's amazing. You guys know Daniel Caesar.
Right.
Daniel Valverde and
Valverde,
Master Caesar.
yeah.
Exactly. They're gonna be really mad if they hear this.
Nah, man, you're good.
I just butchered their names.
Nah, man. Well, when I do the Portuguese translation, you won't even be able to tell. You know what I'm saying?
No,
the subtitle's gonna be pristine.
Exactly. No, but these guys, man, what they've built in that gym is just incredible. Like I've never seen two people who are like over the years, everything they've been through, they're like a rock together. You know what I'm saying? Like they make all the right decisions together. They're not like. They're always willing to agree, like, and they're leading all the fighters in the right direction.
What is your regular day-to-day like as far as training? How many times are you training? How many hours? What's your eating regimen? You know, there's so many people that think they can do, you know, something because they see it done on TV or whatever the case. But the behind the scenes there's so much more that goes into it. So why don't you give us kind of an inside scoop into what it's really like?
So starting day to day, I mean, Monday through Friday is mandatory that I train in the pro class in the morning. So the pro class is, I want to say like 10 to 2. Okay. It's usually from like, if you want to be the first one in there, last one to leave, 10 to 2. That's mandatory Monday through Friday. Saturdays, depends how I'm really feeling.
Right.
If I feel good, if like I didn't get too beat up on Friday, our sparring day, then I'll go in Saturday and do like a little something. But for the most part, like I want that day to chill.
Right.
I want that day to chill, let my mind recover a little bit. Sunday, obviously I'm chilling Sunday. Might like hold some mitts for some people or something to stay a little active, like a little quick recovery at home.
Right.
But yeah, no, Monday through Friday, it's hardcore the whole time. Just nonstop pushing the throttle, recovering on Saturday, Sunday. And then diet's clean, man. Diet's very clean through the week. Normally on the weekends, I'll fuck up a little bit. On the weekends, I'll go out. Sometimes I'll have some beer. Sometimes I'll like pizza.
Yeah, man, you gotta live a little.
All the bad stuff. But when I have a fight coming up, no, none of that.
None of that?
No, diet's very strict.
Collin, talk to us about the roots. Where did it get started? You know what I'm saying? When did you first get the idea that MMA was something for you? Correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I've known you for a minute. You had spoken to me about your love for boxing before. Is that the root of it all? How did it all kind of come together? And at what moment did it kind of hit you that this is going to be more than a hobby or more than just something that you do to stay in shape?
So that's a hard question, honestly, because as long as I can remember, from like 3 years old, as long as I can remember, I always wanted to just be a badass. Like I wanted to be the baddest motherfucker. Yeah. Whatever TV shows I was watching, I was playing with G.I. Joes. I wanted to be that guy. And it stayed with me, developing, coming up. And actually, I did jujitsu when I was a little kid. I did jujitsu from like 8 to 10.
Okay.
So I understood a little bit. Like I knew what the guard was and stuff like that. I knew what triangles were. I also did Taekwondo when I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh shit.
So like I grew up somewhat in a martial arts space.
Okay.
But then around like 14, 15, like that punk age, I was getting in a lot of trouble with my friends. Like I was out like stealing, smoking, drinking, all that dumb stuff.
Right.
And turned into like street fighting. We actually started watching Kimbo Slice fights.
Oh damn! Shout out Kimbo Slice.
So that's how it all started.
Shout out Data 5000 prior guests as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So it'd be me and my boys. We'd just be like out, at home watching YouTube, watching Kimbo Slice fights, and like MMA fights would actually like pop up in these like little highlights, and we'd fast forward. That would be like nobody wants to see that wrestling bullshit. Shit's whack.
Oh,
it's like straight hands.
Damn.
And, it was my boy Tanner. He actually has a YouTube show now. It's called No One's Safe. It's actually blowing up. He's got like 100,000 subscribers now. So shout out to No One's Safe out there. We're watching you, Tanner. You're doing big things.
Hit him with a subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And so basically, like we would get all the neighborhood kids to come over. Tanner's house was like the spot. That was like the party house. So after school, we'd have like 20, 30 heads outside sometimes just chilling.
It's like Bama Jarrett's mansion, bro.
So we brought that Kimbo motivation to the front yard.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we kind of had like that Miami street fighting thing going on in Jacksonville in his house. A bunch of teenage kids, you know what I'm saying? Damn. And it started off as like just friendly fights, boxing matches, and then we started getting like boxing tournaments. God. And we'd have like 30 heads outside, like fighting. We like have winners and everything. People training for these events.
Oh shit.
And so it kind of started like that, and
they were fully sanctioned, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And so then that kind of like that fell off a little bit, but the hunger was still there. So I was still really wanting to fight, but I was still getting in a lot of trouble.
Right.
But I didn't know the direction of where fighting was going to take me. I thought I was going to be Kimbo. I thought I was going to be like the baddest motherfucker in the streets.
Right.
I didn't look at MMA. I didn't look at any organizations or anything like that. And then I have another friend, Seth Dupuy. He's actually a pro fighter also.
Okay.
So we were bad kids getting in trouble all the time. His dad actually brought us to an MMA gym called the Training Yard. Shout out to the Training Yard. It's a gym that actually made me, but we'll get there later.
Okay.
So brought us to that gym. Like I said, I had a little bit of a martial arts background. So the first day we went in, I meet the coaches. They throw us to some kids, and like right away I put a kid in the guillotine and pulled guard. And I see the coach, they're like, oh, this kid might know something.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, I got confidence. The next round, I go with this little chick, like 4'11" little girl, smokes me. Like,
damn.
Her name's actually Maddie Allen. Shout out to Maddie.
Shout out.
She's actually a brown belt, might be a black belt right now.
Oh,
10th
damn.
planet black belt. So she stayed with us. So she's good. Okay. Arm barring me left and right in front of all my friends. All my friends are sitting there laughing at me. So ever since that day, it was basically like I knew that's what I wanted to do. I got a membership to that gym. I showed up every day. 15 years old, by the way.
Wow.
And just that's where the whole career started.
And you never took a hiatus from that moment? From 15 to now, you've been nonstop?
Pretty much. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yep. It took me a couple years for people in the gym to start taking me serious. And I was still like a troubled kid, you know what I'm saying? Okay. I was still getting in a lot of trouble using what I was learning in the gym to go out to the streets and like bully kids out there and stuff. Yeah, like from 15 basically to now, it hasn't stopped.
Where are you originally from? Like, what are your roots from? Talk to us about your family, your background.
Okay, so I was born in Rochester, New York. I actually still have a lot of family there. So I have, like I was telling you, I'm Dutch. So my family, my dad's side of the family, the Dutch family, they all migrated to New York from Holland during the Holocaust. So I still have a lot of family there. So like my great grandparents and all them, they migrated in.
Okay.
And so yeah, I was raised in Rochester from basically from birth to like 6-7 years old. Okay. From there, my mom had a crazy job that moved us all over the place. So we lived in Georgia. I lived in Macon, Georgia. For like a year. Savannah, Georgia for about a year. All right. And then I moved to Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is where I was raised like most of my life. I lived from Jacksonville from about like 9 to 21. Oh, and like, shit. Yeah, and that's where I started doing jiu-jitsu. That's where like I started getting in fights, started messing around in the streets. And that's like where I met my gym too. So basically, like most of my life, I was raised in Jacksonville. I got it tattooed all over me. Fucking stupid kid. And yeah, man. So I would want to say Jacksonville is primarily like my stomping grounds before Miami.
I know the 904 can be a pretty rough place in certain neighborhoods.
You have no idea, man.
Yeah,
I don't like going back sometimes.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. We can't fact check this. I'm sure live.
Bro,
but like,
I'm sure
I think at one point it was the murder capital of Florida.
I remember hearing that. I feel like everybody's city says that. Everybody's like, "No, we're the murder capital.
We out here." You know what I'm saying? We're number one.
But it definitely, I remember hearing that growing up.
Yeah.
Damn.
I would do a couple Postmates deliveries in Jacksonville, and there were certain neighborhoods where I was like, "Yeah, I need to get out of here."
Yeah, you're not gonna get a big tip.
It's gutter, man. Because you know what it is. It's like there's nothing to do. It's a big city, and there's like, it's not like Miami to where you got all these clubs and you got all these attractions. Like, there's nothing to do. The only good thing to do is get in trouble.
Right.
And it is a major city, so it's not like the fucking country. Like, no, there's a lot of people there, but there's nothing to do besides get in trouble. So you see like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids are like, they're gangsters out there. It's scary. Those are the ones you got to worry about. So those are the ones that are gonna kill you. It's not gangs or anything like that. It's little kids like listening to this trap music who are bad. Like when I was 14 years old when I had my first gun. Right. Like think about if you don't raise your kids right, imagine like and I was good, you know what I'm saying? Like like I had my house, like my mom was home and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Right. And that was me. There's other kids out there who have it a lot worse. Right. And who I'm probably sure have a lot better connections than I did.
Right. Yeah, would you say you feel more connected or you identify more with Jacksonville or New York?
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville for sure. I was too young to really know what was going on in New York. Like, I still have all my family there, but I left as, like, a little kid. I still have, like, the memories of, like, the cold. Right. And shit like that. But other than that, no. Like, not too many connections left with New York.
Wow. And what made you make the big transition to MMA Masters then?
That's another long story. So, I'll start with when I started training at the training yard.
Okay.
Remember Josh Saman?
Yes.
Josh Saman, Josh Saman, for those of you guys who don't know, he was a UFC fighter. He made it in from the Ultimate Fighter season 15. And Josh was known for the double punch.
Yeah.
So basically, Josh was from Tallahassee, but Josh and my coach in Jacksonville, Dean Grant, shout out to Dean Grant.
Big shout out.
They were friends. So but way before I was ever in the game, they would like go on trips. They went to like Stockton. They went train with the Diaz brothers and stuff like that. So they had history.
Okay.
Josh was actually the owner of Combat Night. Shout out to Combat Night. Mitchell Somali's running it now. And so I was like about 15 or 16 when I first met Josh. I was in the gym training, and it was a guy, Matt Muncy. And Matt Muncy came up to me. He was like, "Hey, do you want to come help build the Combat Night cage for us tonight?" And I was a little kid. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, hell yeah." What do I do? So basically, I'm like 15, 16. I get to go to the club and like help build this cage. I'm opening the gate for all the fighters and stuff. So that was like my first look at like amateur fights. And like being next to a cage and stuff like that. And I saw Josh there at the time, and Josh was fresh off the Ultimate Fighter. So I'm looking at him like a celebrity. Like I'm a little kid. I'm like, damn, like this is who I want to be when I'm big. And Josh was a big dude, you know what I'm saying? He was in shape. So I'm looking at him like fucking Hercules. God. And so Josh eventually moved to MMA Masters. So I would always kind of keep up with his career. And my career is flourishing at this time. My amateur career is flourishing. I'm starting to get in Combat Night. I turned 18, you know, I'm starting to win belts for them and stuff. So they know who I am now. And Josh is with MMA Masters, and he's in the UFC now. He's doing awesome. He's taking Masters Capoeira style, Sensei Jiu-Jitsu, and you just see the videos of he's elevating so much. Damn. And I knew at one point in Jacksonville, I became like the best fighter. I kind of plateaued. Like I was still amateur, but I knew I was going pro, but I had no training partners. I'm starting to kind of like run the gym where I'm at. I'm teaching the classes now. I have no training partners. I'm starting to lose fights because I don't have anybody to train with. So I knew I needed to make a big move. I wasn't exactly sure where it was going to be yet. I tried out MMA Masters like a year or two before, and I really liked it. And that was an option, you know. And then if you guys know, Josh actually like he passed away. He had a lot of stuff going on. And he actually passed away. So when he passed away, I was like, this is my last opportunity to get to that gym. People see my face there before, but like they knew me from him. So I was like, let me do this now. So within like a month of him dying, I bought a car for Mitchell Somali, who was like his best friend. So I saved up a little bit of money in Jacksonville. I think I had like $1,500. Mitchell showed me a car who was probably worth like $5,000. Gave me a car for $1,500. Within that week, I moved to Miami. Wow. And it was really only supposed to be for like a week. I was only supposed to come down there. I was going to stay for like half of a fight camp and just see how I liked it. And then it just stuck, man. I stayed.
Damn.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier you lived in the gym those first 2 years, I think it was?
No, so I lived with Danny. So we'll bring up Danny.
Danny, the Colombian warrior Chavez.
Shout
you know
out
what I'm
Danny
saying?
Chavez.
Well, I have heard
big
so
shout out.
much.
Oh, big
So
shout out. Multiple 5, 6, 7 time prior Midnight in Miami guests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Danny's my brother. I love Danny. He's a great guy. So I'll go into how I met Danny. So I met Danny like a year or two before I actually made the move to MMA Masters. I met him coming in and training in the gym. You guys know Danny. Danny's a super cool guy. Yeah. When you first see him, he looks a little scary. You hear his voice. You're like,
yeah, you see the KO on his knuckles, and you're like, what?
And but then he started talking to me, and he was like asking me where I'm from and stuff. And then so we would keep up on social media. And then I was talking whenever I decided to move down here. I was talking to the coaches, and the coaches reached out to him and asked if he had a space in his room because I know he like had another fighter living there. Okay. So he said, "Yeah, I got space," and me and him got in communication, and then From there was history.
Wow.
Yeah, moved in the gym, moved in the house with Danny. It was like a little fighter dorm. So it was me, Danny, Marino Eatman, and Brock Weaver.
Damn, big shout out Marino and big shout out Brock. Damn. Talk to us about your amateur debut, and we'll get into your pro debut a little bit afterwards as well.
Okay. So my amateur debut, I'm gonna go start with kickboxing because that was when I first started.
Okay.
So I was 17 when I first started competing in kickboxing. Like I said, I was training when I was 15, but wasn't really taken serious yet. Still had a lot of developing to do. So what was the first one? The first one, I think I took on like a week's notice.
Cool.
Or something like that.
Wow.
Where was the first one? Here in Miami, actually. Yeah. So I had a friend, Seth, my friend Seth, who I was telling you about. He had an opponent, and I was just gonna come down and support him. And his opponent pulled out last minute, and they had somebody like in my weight class. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it." Like I had my gloves and stuff, so I was ready. It was like 2 days notice now that I think about it.
Oh my god!
And
you're already walking at the weight?
Yeah, I wasn't cutting weight back then.
Okay,
I was a little kid, like 17 years old.
Okay.
And so I get to the show, and it was in Hollywood at the Hilton, and I lived in Jacksonville at the time. So my coach like drove us down and stuff, and so we get there, and it was an MMA/kickboxing show. So there was like 2 kickboxing fights, and the rest were MMA. And I'm a little kid at this time, and I'm starting to see, and I go there, and like I didn't know who my opponent was. I just see a bunch of big ass motherfuckers, and I'm like, fuck, it could be any one of them. And then luckily it was like the smallest, like most out of shape dude in the back. So I'm like, yes, like at the time, because like a lot of the times back then, sometimes you didn't know who your opponent was. You show up to weigh-ins and you just like you see your guy. My first couple fights were like that. Like if people don't have social media or anything like that, you show up and like you just better hope he's like the smallest motherfucker in the room.
Jeez.
And so yeah, it was fun. I just kind of beat him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then another month later, I took another fight, beat that kid up. Another month later, I took another one like days notice. I was getting ready for a grappling match, honestly, and my opponent pulled out the day of the grappling match. This guy's opponent pulled out, and he was actually a hard fight. I forgot his name, Tyrese something. I got him on Instagram.
Okay.
He's from Miami. He was a killer. Damn. So me and him had a fucking war. I actually got a draw on that fight, so I was 2-0-1 in kickboxing. But I went in at day's notice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gave him what I had.
Of course, shit.
But yeah, so that was a draw, and then I turned 18 right after that. So right when I turned 18, I jumped into MMA.
Damn.
And so let's get on to that now.
Yeah, let's get into that.
So I had a long amateur amateur MMA career too. I had 11 amateur MMA fights.
Oh wow! Nice.
I started off real good. My first one, I blitzed the kid first 10 seconds of the fight. TKO'd the kid 10 seconds. My second one, same deal. I was like, no way I'm beating 10 seconds. Second one, 6 seconds. Just go out there, just straight punches until the kid hits the ground. Second one, 6 seconds. Third one, first round KO, head kick. Boom, beautiful head kick. Bend the kid in half.
Yeah.
So I'm like on top of the world now. I'm like
Hell
going to
yeah.
the back. I'm an amateur. I'm like, I'm going to the UFC. My coach back then is like 5-0 pro. He's like, we'll fucking see, kid. And so go 4-0, get a triangle. And then I remember I think that's when I got my first loss. I fought for a belt in combat night.
Okay.
And lost a split decision there. Won a couple more. I would lose another split decision. This is around the time I don't have training partners.
How'd your first L kind of feel at the time?
Dude, honestly, so I was fighting month to month to month. I was burned out. That's when I was 4-0. I was winning, but I was burned out like from the first kickboxing fight to this. So it was like 7 fights literally month to month. I had 10 fights in a year and a half.
Wow.
And I remember I was in the back and like, this is my biggest fight. I'm supposed to be hyped up for this. And I'm in the back getting ready to go down, and I'm like yawning. Like everyone's got cameras in my face. I'm like, bro, like I wasn't feeling it. I was more excited for the fight to be over and for me to chill than to actually go in there and win the fight. So I went in like with like no swag to me. I went in just kind of like flat, no emotion. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I just got out wrestled. Got taken down. It was honestly the guy was really good, and at the time I felt like I was really good too. But we canceled each other out, and we had a boring ass fight. Like there was probably like 2 punches thrown the whole fight. We kind of like we over-respected each other.
Okay.
Too much, I believe. And that's kind of how my other losses ended up going too. I didn't have any wrestling. Some other losses after that, I didn't have really training partners in the gym. I had no wrestling. I would just get taken down. I'd go out, hit the guys with big shots, get taken down, have too much belief in my guard, trying to put triangles on people and just lose the fucking 3-minute rounds with me and guard.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3 segments, and the first one is actually called Mail Time. You know what I'm talking about? And then this beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guest for questions that you yourself have sent in. So go ahead, tune in every Saturday, every Sunday, every Friday, whatever the case may be. Go on our Instagram and you'll see a post, you know what I'm saying? You can hit our DMs with those questions for our guests. And here are the questions that the people clamor. You doing BTS? Oh, I thought you were going to do a little BTS, bro.
I can do some BTS.
You can do some BTS?
I can always do some BTS.
All right. Collin, what was sparring Jake Paul like?
All right, that's a good one. It was fun, man. It was fun. So let me get into how that story even started.
Please
so
do.
It was, I used to work at Title Boxing over there in Brickell, and it was a boxing coach, Shota. And Shota hit me. I haven't talked to him in a couple years. Shota hit me up and said, hey, yo, this kid Jake Paul's in town. He needs sparring partners. And this is when he was getting ready for Ben Askren, I believe.
Yeah.
Normally, I wouldn't do something like that. Cause they were paying like $150. It wasn't even about the money.
Damn, bro.
I was
Fuck Jake Paul.
I was talking to my niece and nephews. Like they're like little YouTubers. They love Jake Paul. So I told them about it. And they're like, "Fucking do that shit. Let's do that shit." So I'm like, "All right, why not? Let's do it." So I think it was days notice. So the next day I showed up to his gym. It was some boxing gym in Coral Gables. I show up there, no coaches, nothing. Like I had some friends even ask me. They're like, "Yo, like." Let me go with you. Let me record. But like in that moment, I was like,
they told you couldn't bring coaches?
no, it was my choice. That was
Okay,
100%
gotcha,
my choice.
gotcha.
I kind of got cold for a second because I started looking up his videos and I started seeing him like knocking motherfuckers out. Like, and I was like, damn, Jake Paul looks pretty good on these videos. And I was like, so then it hit me. I'm like, oh, I'm getting brought in there to become viral.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, no, hell no, I'm not letting that shit fly.
Damn.
So I was like a little bit cold about this. I was like, no, I'm going in there by myself. I'm going there dolo. I don't want no cameras. Like I'm not even telling anybody. I'm just gonna go in there and handle business, which I regret now because I wish I would have got it on film.
Did they let you, or I feel like they would have?
I wasn't worried about it.
Okay,
I honestly wasn't worried about it. Like
gotcha.
I almost looked at it like a fight.
Right.
So I show up to this gym, right? I'm there like an hour early.
And just straight boxing, right?
Just straight boxing,
Gotcha.
yeah. I show up with like Air Force Ones on, no boxing shoes. Like I had to borrow some fucking gloves from the gym. I didn't have any gloves in the gym.
Gang, bro.
And so I show up, I'm warming up and stuff. Then I see like some Rolls Royces pull up. I'm like, oh, obviously him. He comes in like 30 deep. Big ass cameras, like his whole entourage and shit with him.
Was he late as shit too? I mean, I would assume.
I don't honestly, I don't really remember. I was there early.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure. So yeah, he's got his whole entourage. So I'm sitting there warming up. People are walking by. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? No one's acknowledging me. Like everyone's kind of mean mugging me. So I'm like, oh, okay.
It's that type of
shit.
vibe.
It's going down. So now I'm like hitting my chin. I'm like walking back and forth. I'm doing my like, pumping myself up. Because I got, you know what I'm saying? The adrenaline hit me. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
Nah. And I see these big cameras. I was like, nah, you guys aren't I'm not going viral today. And you got me fucked up. And so yeah, I'm warming up or whatever. Like, and now like I think they see my intensity. So whoever it was like his people with him. They're all starting to kind of look at me and say, "What's up now?" And I'm like, "What's up, bro? Like, how long you been doing this?" I'm like, "Not today. Let me focus." So we get in the ring. We did 5 3-minute rounds, 5 2-minute rounds, 5 3-minute rounds, and I just beat him up every round.
Yeah.
He's not bad though. Let me give it to him. Like he stood his ground. You know what I'm saying? He knew how to box. He had a good jab. He knew how to sit down on his punches, but there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this. I've been in the game long enough. I'm a pro fighter, and he talked a lot about MMA fighters not having good hands, and I pride myself on being one of the MMA fighters with the best hands out there.
Right.
It's gonna show one day for sure. It's like it's inevitable.
100%.
But yeah, I don't play, man. Fuck that. So I had to let him know I had to beat him up, and I'm not going viral.
Hey, and kind of like you having sparred with him. When you watch Ben Askren or you watch Tyron Woodley fucking 2 times, especially the second time being so heartbreaking, what do you make of that? Do you think it was justifiable? Did you think, okay, like having sparred with him, there's no way in hell that Tyron Woodley loses to him, or?
No doubt. I think, no, Jake's good. Jake's good. He's better than average people. He's better than most MMA fighters. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
He understands boxing. He's got great coaches and he's very dedicated. I'm gonna give it to him. He understands boxing. Tyrone's never been known for his striking. He had a big right hand that he depended on with his whole fucking life, but he didn't really have striking. So I wasn't too surprised. I was going for Tyrone. Like, don't let MMA down like that. But no, I knew he was gonna I felt like he had better boxing, crisper boxing than Tyrone. Obviously, he had better boxing than fucking Askren. Everybody knew that.
Right.
I saw that come in for sure because he's got power. He's got heavy hands, and you just need to land one good one.
Damn. So we don't think that those knockouts were staged.
No, not a chance. No, those were legit.
Yeah.
As far as I know, like I don't know what they really offered Tyrone under the table, but he got punched. That was a real punch. There's no doubt in
I
that.
have watched it over and over and over again obsessively. I had one of those YouTube nights.
The sweat flew in the crowd. Like that was a legit punch. It was weird. It was weird, like when he dropped it and then he got hit, but still, like, nah, I don't think there's faking that unless they threw him like an offer he couldn't refuse to take a dive, which I can't relate to because I would never do something like that. I wouldn't let my pride get in the way of that.
Straight up.
But I don't know, man. I think they were legit. I hope they were legit, because if not, then that's not good for the sport.
Yeah.
Right.
He definitely seems like a good boxer, though. He looks like he knows what he's doing, and he was a wrestler for years, so the dude's definitely an athlete, you know?
I would love to see him transition to MMA, because he already knows what the hands did to him, so let me see what the wrestling will do to him.
I think there's a video of him scrambling with someone on the internet. I can't remember.
Yeah. I don't know the guy's name. I know his hashtag, his Florida boy. He trains with the Diaz brothers. Yeah, he beat him up. That guy's like a 45er. He's fuck that. Midget weight class. No.
Right.
Christian, why don't you do the honors of reading the second mail time segment question?
The second mail time question. What was the biggest eye-opener you've ever experienced when you've attended UFC events?
Biggest eye-opener. So, unfortunately, that's a good question, man. That's a very good question. I want to say Bruce Buffer probably walking in the room.
Damn.
Yeah, I want to say it was when Colby was fighting Usman the second time, and I'm seeing everything going on, and you would think I'd be a little bit more starstruck with the moment, but I think I was just like I was very locked in, and I've been in that like. I'm gonna be honest. For those of you guys, for the fighters out there who have never seen the UFC or who have never been to an actual big show like that, bro, it's no different than what we do at home. It's literally the same thing. Like whether it's a local pro show or a local amateur show, it's like you go in there, you go to your locker room, you get wrapped up, and that's that. Like all this other like all the people who are like they think they'll be starstruck. No, like it's just like any other show. So I went out there and I'm not really focused on the big scheme of things. But when Bruce Buffer walked in the room, he walked in, he was talking to Colby for a minute. And as he was walking out, he yelled, he was like, "And new." And I remember that moment, I was like, "Oh shit, this shit's real." Like we were really here. It kind of took me out of the moment for a second. I could see everything for what it is rather than being so locked in. But I gotta say that was the moment. But honestly, bro, the whole trip, man, I'm seeing all these things. I'm seeing Dana, I'm seeing Joe Rogan, I'm seeing these people. So it's
Are you able to have kind of like at least like 2 or 3 seconds of conversation with these people?
No, they're on stage.
Okay,
I'm first row right in front of them.
I saw that. Actually, when I did the press conference, I saw you standing up and clapping.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking Collin, bro, hell yeah!" Chris, what's our third mail time segment question?
Our third mail time segment question. So, what is it? Why did you and Colby click? What is it about you that made you the perfect sparring partner for Colby?
I can't tell you that, man. I got hands.
Hey.
I got hands. I feel like I'm an amazing striker. I feel like I'm a world-class striker. So, and I'm a good training partner for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't have an ego in the gym. I'm not gonna go in there and try to knock you out. I'm gonna hit you as hard as you hit me. But I want everybody to get on the team to get better. You know, it's not just about me all the time. Like I want everybody to get better. I want everybody to grow. So maybe they saw that energy. He knows I'm a good teammate. Like the coaches obviously, like, you can't question my loyalty. So maybe that could have been it. He was getting ready for Masvidal. I think at that time it was Masvidal, Usman up and down. But I was there every day. I was putting the work in. I was putting the extra hours in. So it could be it.
Was it difficult to try to imitate Usman or Masvidal's movements when sparring with him?
No, not at all. I want to I'm back Israel says he's a style bender, but man, I think I'm the real style bender.
Hey.
That's one thing I've always done very well at. I'm very good at imitating other fighters. Like I've been for all these guys, Miguel Baez, all these guys. Like I've had to be plenty of people going into their fights. Like a lot of southpaws. So I'm actually better in southpaw than I'm not orthodox. I'm a natural more orthodox just because I've had to spar them when they're peaking, and I have to be somebody else.
Right.
But Masvidal was a lot more fun being Masvidal than it was Usman. Usman's way too stiff. Just a jab. With Masvidal, at least I can move around a little bit and not just get fucking punched.
Damn.
But no, I can adapt to just about anybody.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sending in those questions. You know what I'm saying? Please tune in every week and send in those questions. Collin, I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't mention or ask. There is a quite of a bit of a hiatus for in your record. The last time you fought, if I'm not mistaken, was 2020. So there is a little bit of an absence inside the cage. Talk to us about that. Why is it? Is it because of the pandemic? Is there any other reason besides that? Talk to us about that.
No, the pandemic had nothing to do with it. I was actually very active during the pandemic. I had a fight get canceled the day before Corona actually shut everything down.
I was gonna ask.
And I fought one time in 2020. It was in June. That was my last fight. It was during the pandemic, so there was no audience or anything like that. And then I've been dealing with injuries, man.
Okay.
I had 2 back-to-back injuries. That's now looking at it's kept me out for about 9 months.
Wow.
So it started with I herniated a disc in my neck. It was my T2. So I've always had my traps are always fucking really sore, always tight like that. So I feel like I've always kind of had upper spine issues, but never really addressed them. So I remember I was sparring one day. And I'm real light on my feet, moving backwards, and 2 other people are sparring, and they're somebody was shooting in, and they hit the back of me. So when they hit the back of me, I got kind of a whiplash. My neck snapped back, and I remember I had a little stinger in my neck for a couple of days,
right?
And, but it wasn't nothing that I haven't experienced before. So I go back in 2 or 3 days later to go grapple. I showed up late, no warm up, nothing like that. Jumped right on the mats. The first 30 seconds of me grappling, I feel myself pull something. But being an idiot and knowing I got there late, I'm I'm warm. Let me just keep going. So I did 5 more rounds with a fucking hit with whatever the fuck I did to my neck.
Right.
And then I remember the rounds ended. I was laying there and then I couldn't get up. I was paralyzed. And I felt bad ones before, but this one was fuck, I can't move. So I had a couple people actually had to help me get up. They had to bring me to my chiropractor and stuff. He felt me. He was like, yo, it's so stiff right now. I don't really know what's wrong with you yet. So I was on bed rest for 2 months. God. 2 months. Literally the first month, 24 hours a day of pain. The pain never subsided. It was I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So I had the disc was herniated and it was pinching a nerve. So the nerve, I had nerve pain going all the way down my arm. So when I'm trying to sleep at night, it's lightning bolts, jolting. I could hear it. You know how you put these on and you could hear everything. I could hear the inside, the jolts going through my arm. Miserable, man. So that kept me out for 2 months there, bed rest.
Right.
Got in the gym, slowly started moving again. Once I feel good to start moving again, I pulled my groin.
Fuck.
So I pulled my groin the day before we left to New York for Colby's fight with Usman. I went in my groin. So let me start with this. It was a little bit sore from just I was getting in shape and I was running really hard one day and running harder than I normally did because my cardio felt good. And I remember it was a little sore. And then I went into the gym. It was the last Saturday before we were leaving to New York for Colby. And I went in, I just got on the mats. I'm feeling good. And I did this stupid spinning kick on the wall, not warmed up or anything. And right away felt something tear. And I'm like, ooh, that wasn't good. But now Colby, it's time for me and Colby to wrestle. So I'm sitting there trying to stretch out whatever I just did. And then I start wrestling with him. I remember 2 rounds in, I was stuck. And I'm yo, I can't anymore. And then so we go to New York, and I didn't walk the first 3-4 days we were there. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't walk for the first 3-4 days we were there. I was just laying down, damn, dude, I fucked myself up again. And so eventually I'm icing it or whatever. It starts healing a little bit. After about a month, I decided to try to roll again. So you saw me. I got my brown belt and everything.
Yeah.
I hadn't rolled for a month before I got that brown belt.
Okay.
So right when I get the brown belt, the next day I try to roll. And real light. I was rolling with Mikey actually.
Okay. Shout out Mikey.
But I was going super light. I was playing guard. I shouldn't have probably been playing guard. That was the last thing I should have done. And I remember I threw up a triangle, and just him defending it, I felt a pop in the groin. I felt a pop, and I felt the whole tendon kind of just wiggle out.
Fuck.
And it was right away I just felt a burn. I knew it was extremely painful, and I was oh, that's it. That's a bad one. Oh. And then so right there I knew. I'm damn, I'm gonna be out for a little bit longer. So I go to get that checked up, and I have doctors tell me that I have a hernia. So I don't know if you know the inguinal hernias or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's the symptoms were very similar. So I wasn't bulging, but I had swelling and shit down on my junk. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool. It was a lot of pain. And same thing. And now I'm in bed rest for months. And so I'm thinking I have a hernia. I have all these doctors telling me I have a hernia. I got ultrasound done. I got different people telling me these things. And then so I finally scheduled to see a surgeon. It took 2 months to schedule to see a surgeon. When I see a surgeon, he does tests. He's no, you don't have a hernia, man. He's what you do, you might have you would probably have a bad strain or a partial tear. And he was but just physical therapy. So now I've been doing physical therapy the last couple of weeks. I want to say I'm like 70%. 2 more weeks of physical therapy.
Okay.
And then the hiatus is over.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Watch
Right.
out.
So, maybe answering your next questions. The second I feel good to wrestle again, hopefully 2 to 3 weeks, I'm scheduling something as soon as possible.
Wow.
I'll fight for free at this point. You know what
Straight
I'm
up.
saying? I'm not worried about fighting in a big promotion. I'm not worried about fighting for a big check.
Right.
I just need to get in there. I want to test my skills because I've gotten so much better in the last 2 years. Regardless of these injuries or not, I've done stuff around these injuries. So, like, I had my groin injury. It made me get my boxing so much better. I had my neck injury. It made me get my mind better. Because this one was one that I couldn't do anything. So I started, like, reading books. I started, like, listening to affirmations, doing a lot of different stuff.
Hell yeah.
That I never did before.
Right.
So, now, like, as soon as this is healed, bro, I'm solid as a rock. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I'm ready to tackle anything. And I want to fight 4 times a year.
Damn.
Minimum. But I'm confident that, like I said, I'm going to fight for free. But I'm confident 1 or 2 more wins. And, like, you can't deny me. You can't deny me at all.
100%.
I'm in no rush. Like, I know, like Colby's my training partner. If he, I'm sure if he could put a word in to get me in now.
Right.
But no rush.
Right.
No rush. Like, I want to test myself in those next couple fights.
The man's got hunger.
I'm not worried about ring rust or anything like that. But I just want to see how much better I've gotten.
Right.
I want to go sleep a couple people and then like go in the UFC with that confidence that
Right.
like I am the best in the world.
Damn, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That gets me going, dog. That shit fucking gets me
gassed
pumped. Hell yeah. Talk to us about recovery. How important is it for you? Clearly you've gone through some, you know what I'm saying, some injuries and that sort of good stuff, but talk to us about cupping. Talk to us about massages. Talk to us about the recovery aspect of it.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a white belt in recovery. Unfortunately, I probably wouldn't have been out for this whole year, this 9 months, if I knew how to recover better.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm not aware of it. I know everything I need to do, but sometimes after 4 or 5 hour training, like 4 or 5 hours of training a day, the last thing you want to do is go fucking stretch. Like sometimes you just want to lay down. But me hearing myself say this, like this is what I need to work on. So like I was saying, like these injuries have taught me a lot. Now it's like I need to like wake up a little bit earlier. Now I'm like submerging myself in the cold. Now I am stretching. I'm doing like an hour of yoga a day on the good days when I feel like it. I'm gonna go for like at least 4 days a week. I'm doing yoga, but like this stuff I never did before. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like I am getting like I am taking the ice baths and stuff like that. And, I'm working on it, but it definitely needs to get better. So this is a contract to myself. Me hearing this, I gotta keep working on that.
That's what I'm saying.
And I have a question for you. Do you miss Jacksonville at all? And listen, I just have to say, I have to shout out the 904 because I feel like we made it sound like Duval. I shouldn't be saying that, but I'm from Miami, but still, 904. They have the Jacksonville Jazz Festival, which I highly recommend. Shout out Jacksonville Jazz Festival.
There you go.
It is one of the most beautiful music festivals you can go to, especially in Florida. It's a fantastic multicultural event. It's not just jazz. You have fusions of different kinds of jazz that eventually split up into a musical collection that you wouldn't believe after hours. So Jacksonville Jazz Festival, check it out. It is a beautiful city. Sometimes it's a little rough.
I love that.
Are rough.
I love that
He's not lying.
I love that he
Guys.
specifies that it's a multicultural event.
It's a beautiful event, man.
It is a beautiful event, bro.
Everyone comes together in the
sure
city.
they do.
You understand that city? It's a big deal, man.
It's got like a Wynwood vibe sometimes.
Oh, word.
Those festivals have that Wynwood vibe.
Yeah.
It's like just a little bit of everybody out there and everyone's having a good time. It's not as fun as Wynwood. It's not nowhere near as fun.
Yeah, nowhere it gets.
But he's onto something.
Christian, how long were you in Jacksonville for?
Oh man, I've always visited because I have family that's always lived up there throughout my life. So I'm a Miami boy, but I visited every summer, and then they all moved to St. Johns County. So shout out St. Johns County.
all right.
It's like the best school district in
We'll
Florida.
take it. We'll take it.
And a booming real estate market as well.
There you go.
Fun facts that you didn't know about Florida.
There you go. Fun facts. That'll be a new segment. Collin, talk to us, I guess, about the mental preparation, the mental games that you got going on in your head before your pro debut. What was going on through your head before your pro debut?
Oh yeah, okay. So that was a big one. Yeah, I was fucking battling demons. That
Oh
one was
yeah.
rough.
Oh man.
So that was one I was getting. It was the last fight for Fight Time Promotions.
Okay.
And I got matched up with this one guy. He was really good. He had a good amateur record. He was like 5-6-0, undefeated, beating actually good guys as an amateur. And he had like 2 belts, I think. So we were both champions in combat night coming up.
Okay.
And then going back and forth with each other on social media and stuff, like in the group chats for fight time. So I that was me though. I wanted that. Like I knew like if I was gonna talk shit, it's gonna make me train harder because I'm liable for what I say.
Right.
So it just puts that extra fire under you. But the fight got canceled like 3 times, but like 2 to 3 times back to back. So it got pushed back like almost a year, like 9 months. So the same opponent and everything. They'll give us a date, and then they'll push the date back, and they'll push the date back.
That's tremendo build-up, dog.
So it was a huge build-up, and the whole time me and this kid are talking shit to each other. So it's like
you've been talking for a year, dog.
Know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
a relationship at that point, dog. What you mean?
Right, exactly.
You know, like.
And so finally, like the card gets closer, and I get really injured before that fight too. I remember I tore tissue in my neck, and I went to like some holistic doctor. He fucking made some crazy turmeric cream for me, like put needles in my neck. None of that shit really worked. But I feel like now it was like a mental thing. I'm like, all right, I'm doing something to get this better.
Like a placebo.
But just like any fight, like usually fight week is like you just lock in. Like everything else in the world that's going on doesn't matter anymore. Like you're not worried about the future. You're not worried about the past. Nothing. You're just kind of completely locked in, cold, emotionless. And yeah, it's just the mental thing. Yeah, I'm like I said, just kind of emotionless that whole week. I'm kind of bobbing my head. There's no music, but I'm just bobbing my head. Damn. Just like that. You're talking to me. I'm like, huh? What? I don't know what's going on. I'm just like blank. I'm not even thinking about the fight. I'm just blank.
Damn.
It's like a meditative state almost.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about, we have 3 segments, and the second one is actually the movie review of the week. You know what I'm talking about? And in this segment, we ask our illustrious guest for a suggestion, a recommendation. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a movie, a TV show, any sort of media that you like watching, maybe something that you binge on Netflix or HBO, maybe something that it's, boom, fight week, and you know what I'm saying, you put it on to chill out, you know what I'm saying, sit back and relax and kind of let the nerves kind of flow by. What is it, something that you couldn't recommend enough? If let's say you got 2,000 people and they're about to watch a Collin fight, you know what I'm saying, and they got 2 hours to kill, what would you recommend them?
So I had something in my head, but before you said that 2 hours to kill part.
Oh, I mean, it could be more. It could be more.
No, okay. So a series I've been watching recently is great. It's called The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard about this. So it's on HBO Max. It's So he was the husband from Roseanne. Remember that show Roseanne? Tom Arnold?
No. Peter Goodman.
Peter Goodman, yes.
Yeah.
So he
John Goodman,
yeah, something like that.
There you go.
And then Pineapple Express. Who's the guy that played Red? I don't know the actor's actual name. So
you talking about the skinny one, James Franco?
No. He was a drug dealer.
I know who you're talking about.
Butchering this right now.
No, you're doing great.
Do you remember his name? Hold on, fact check. Where we at?
We're fact.
Yeah, where the fact checkers at, bro?
The Righteous Gemstones. Just so I can say the actors and give them the credit. Huh?
Danny McBride.
So look, yes, Danny McBride and the other guy we were talking about. So
and John Goodman.
So basically, they're pastors, but they run like $1 billion churches.
Dang.
And they're a family of like pastors, like they're very like righteous people, but they have a lot of shady shit going on in the back. So it gets into all that, and it's good, man. It keeps you on your toes.
Damn. What's it called again?
The Righteous Gemstones.
The Righteous Gemstones.
The
Okay.
Righteous Gemstones.
Out of 5 stars, how many would you give it?
4, I guess. 5's hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
5's
yeah.
hard. Yeah,
Hell
you really
yeah.
gotta like
4.
5's like Game of Thrones. You know
Damn.
what I'm saying?
You know, I never watched it.
I just finished it recently.
How
for
was
the first
it?
time. I for years I
But
never
I heard
watched
the
it.
ending
Everybody
sucked,
told me it
right?
was good. The ending's not all that.
No, the ending.
Yeah, it kind of
is-
fucked it all up, but it didn't take away from how great the first like
What
fucking
happened?
6 seasons were. You know what I'm saying?
What
The
happened?
Righteous Gemstones.
I mean, but to create such a masterpiece of a TV series, and then for the final season,
let him
just
know.
go.
Just throw it all
Hey,
away. Just
we
throw it
don't
in
care.
your,
We're
spit in
just
your face.
here's 5 episodes that are or 6.
I heard they put Starbucks cups in there, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
part,
no,
but-
they left the Starbucks cup and they had to edit it in
No,
post. I'm not
no,
even
no,
kidding.
no.
Yeah.
I know that part.
They literally just threw it up in the air, and they're like, "Forget the legacy."
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending hurt.
It
Not
did.
gonna lie.
Yeah, and you watched it back to back to back. So,
But supposedly, yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
binging.
Right.
That's when I had my injury. I was like, well, I gotta find something to watch
Hell
for like 2
yeah.
months.
wait a minute. Did the Red Wedding episode? Did that freak you out? Did that flip? Ah, you haven't seen it.
That's fine.
The Red Wedding episode.
The Red Wedding where...
That's the craziest.
La 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 la.
It's like, yeah. It's definitely the one where you had
when
that
everybody
reaction.
got murdered, like right.
hear that.
Okay, yeah, that was bad.
It
Well,
was
I just
okay.
heard that.
good.
So,
That is
yeah,
definitely
we're good.
one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
Because it was shocking. Because it was like,
Oh my
let's
God.
put out all the rules for TV shows. And
One of the best episodes of television. Do you remember when Gordo broke through the friend zone and Lizzie McGuire? Can we pretend like?
in the movie.
I know, but
Not in the
still.
show.
God. Colin, thank you for those suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for those suggestions. Phenomenal suggestions. And you said 4 stars, right?
4 stars.
Solid,
4
solid.
stars.
Hell yeah. I'm going to have to. How many episodes? Can I binge it? How many episodes are there?
I think it's like 10 to a season. I believe
that's
there's
not
like 4 seasons.
All right, that's not
I think
bad. That's
3 or
not
4
bad. That's not
seasons.
bad. That's not bad. I'll check it out. Colin, talk to us about your selection for walkout music. What do you tend to go to? Is it something that you think about a lot? Is it something that you don't even give thought to? You just give them any old Eminem song and kind of just you don't care? Or do you think about it a lot? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Talk to us.
No, man, I'm a jukebox. I'm
Hey.
like, I'm up and down. I don't really have a favorite or anything like that. I listen to just about everything except country. I'm not really into country.
Okay.
But no, I listen to everything, man. Even on the way here, it's like half the ride here I was listening to trap music, the other half I was listening to Beethoven.
Oh shit!
You know,
Damn.
yeah, so it goes up and down. But like I can get hype from anything. Like
Yeah?
literally Beethoven. I could put on Beethoven and get in my groove. Like actually fight week. Like fight week, I don't like, especially fight day. I don't like listening to anything with like a vibration, like too strong of a beat to it.
Okay.
So any like rock and roll or any like beat like that, fight day. No, I don't want to listen to anything like that. Fight day, I literally listen to like flutes.
Oh,
and like
wow.
fucking piano and violin and shit.
Like a Zelda original or something like that.
Yeah, you know, like some type of like a symphony. It's weird, but it puts me in the zone. It keeps my blood pressure and stuff down.
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm fucking old or anything, but it's real. No, there's like it keeps you calm the whole time.
And what about you picking the song that you actually walk out
The walkout song? I always have a plan. Like I'll always like the last 2 weeks for the fight, I'm always picking these different ones. I'm like, this is it. This is the solid one. But then once like I said, once fight like they ask me what song I want to play, I'm not even focused on that. I'm focused on the fight, so I'm just like whatever you want.
Damn.
But no, like Tupac. I like Pac.
Hey.
That's usually what like I'm listening to that last week.
Okay. Damn. I always tend to ask this to a lot of the MMA fighters that come through the hollowed Midnight in Miami halls. At what point does shit kind of get real for you? Is it when you drive up to the venue and get out of the car? Is it when you're in the locker room and you're putting shit? Is it when they're putting the bandages in your hands or they're tying you up? Is it when you're making your walkout? Is it when they close the door behind you of the cage? When is it?
And that's when I signed the contract. No, the second that contract is signed, it's game time. It's game time. Like life, there's no more fun in life anymore. Now it's time to grind. I didn't just sign the contract to them. I signed it to myself. That I got to be in the best possible shape I can be, and I got to do everything 100% right, so I can have zero excuse to lose at the end of the day.
Damn.
So it starts there. All that other stuff. Once you get to the show and everything like that, it's like I'm happy. I'm like, damn, it's almost like I made it. I made this whole camp. I'm in good shape. I did everything right. Now I'm here. I made it.
Damn.
So like all that other stuff is just like the cherry on top.
Right.
It's nerve wracking, but it's like that's the stuff you miss. Like when you're not fighting, that's the stuff you miss. Is like smelling, like getting your hands wrapped and like smelling the canvas and like smelling the iron from the blood from the fights before you. Like that shit, it's nerve wracking when you're there. Like you don't enjoy it. Like, anybody that says they enjoy it, they're lying. Like it's not enjoyable, but it's like a roller coaster. It's like after that first time you ride it, like you're like, fuck, let's go again. And like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. When you're getting ready for a fight, do you tend to leave the tape watching, the studying of your opponent? Do you do that yourself, or do you leave that up to your coaches?
Normally I've done it myself. My coaches will look at something and they'll see certain tendencies, but they see like usually the same thing I see. I feel like I have a pretty high fight IQ when it comes to that. But I'm not too crazy on it. Like I watched a couple of their videos a couple of times, and maybe like as the camp goes on, like every now and then I'll go back to the video and just like double check, make sure I'm doing the right things to prepare for them. But I'm not like Nazi on it, like watching every single day, because people change. You know what I'm saying? People change. They get better. They get worse. You never know. But what I usually look for is just tendencies.
Right.
I know I want to see like does the guy throw a front kick a lot? Does he throw a calf kick a lot? How does he react when he gets hit? How's his wrestling? How's his cardio when you make him wrestle? So stuff like that. But I'm not super focused on it because you never know. They might pull out and you might get somebody new last minute who's way more dangerous than them. So you just got to go in and just fight the way you know how to fight. Actually, those have been my best performances. I've taken short notice fights against I don't know who the opponent's going to be, and you show up and you fight somebody random that you didn't train for, and sometimes those are the best performances you can have.
A lot of the people that come on here, especially the MMA fighters, they say that the unspoken first round is the weight cut. What's your relationship with weight cutting like?
I've had some rough ones. Yeah, I've had some rough ones. I really got to do that better. Normally, right now, since I've had these injuries, this is the best shape I've been in my life. I think because it's really, like I said, I've got my mind a lot better. It's really helped me focus on where I want to keep my weight at all the time. Right. And but even going back to that, fighting, weight cutting gives people eating disorders. I'm gonna speak for me and a lot of other fighters out there. I don't care what you say. When you cut weight so many times like that, it really fucks you up. That's why you see guys that get so fat afterwards. And, they can't. And when the guys' careers are over, I've never had an in shape wrestling coach. Every wrestling coach I've ever had has been a big fat dude. Yeah. And it's because the years of just that grind and constantly cutting, and you're not allowed to eat these things. It's not that you just you want a healthy lifestyle, you want a diet. No, you physically can't. You're not allowed to eat them, and it's miserable, and it creates eating disorders for people. And
So, but do you think that people, once they don't have to do that anymore, they just go all out?
Yeah, they just binge. Just binge, and then you get lost in the sauce. And you're fat, and it's really hard to get in shape. It's really easy to get out of shape.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So, now I'm just trying to stay around I walk around 190, 185, after training, after a good day of training. But before I used to walk around 205, sometimes 210 when I'm really eating whatever I want and fight to 170.
Wow.
And so I was having 40-pound weight cuts, and I'm keeping the weight, and I was lazy. I was keeping the weight on me until the last week. So I've gone into fights 195 the week before, and then just cut it all that week, and cut 12 pounds that day. I had some rough ones. I've got it done. I've never missed weight. I've always been a professional and got it done. But yeah, it was rough. I had some rough ones. I've definitely learned a lot, and I've got my weight down a lot lighter. And right now I'm walking around at where I would be a week before my last weight cuts.
Wow.
So yeah, I fixed that a lot.
What's been the roughest weight cut you had?
It was the knockout I actually showed you before this. Mm-hmm. So that one I cut 11 pounds in 24 hours. 10 to 11 pounds in 24 hours. I remember the night before. I was sweating. So this is the thing. Every fight's different. The way my diet was for this one, I felt like I was putting a lot of fats in my body. And when I put a lot of fats, my training sessions, I noticed I lose a lot more water. So a 2-hour training session, I'm losing 8 pounds of water. Mm-hmm. And I would weigh myself in between training. So if I showed up that day, 179, I would leave in 170. And this was every training session. So I'm thinking, oh, my body's I'm in a stage right now to where I'm losing a lot of water. So I know if I cut for 2 hours, then I'll be able to get down. Right. But it's your mind's it knows you're getting dehydrated, and your body's no, we can't let this go right now. So I remember it was the night before, I got on a treadmill probably for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I already lost half the weight. It came off really easy. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. It came off really easy. So I'm let me just save the rest for tomorrow so I don't kill myself tonight. So I lost 6 that night within fucking 45 minutes, which is amazing. It was really coming off, like I said. But I don't know the actual science behind it, but your body's it knows a cut's coming. You know what I'm saying? So the next day when I woke up and I tried to do the same thing, the weight just was not coming off the same. And I remember I was 2 to 3 hours I'm trying to sit there, I'm cutting it, and it's coming off really slow. It went from a pound every 30 minutes to a pound every hour and a half. Jeez. And it's miserable. It's miserable. So I show up, we have different scales, so I normally like to keep a couple scales going into the fight just so I can make sure I can round each one up, because every scale is going to tell you something different. Yeah. So I show up to the fight, I get on the scale, and I'm a pound and a half over. So I can be 171. But I was 171.6, I think. Mm-hmm. And my opponent, I looked at my opponent, I'm like, are we good? And he didn't care, but his coach was like, gotta cut it. Gotta cut the weight. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? I refused to miss weight. And it was in a hotel, and I remember I was drained. I was already dead. I gave everything I had. My organs were hurting. Fuck. But just flipped that switch again. And I remember I was in the hotel, and I saw like one of the cleaning ladies in the hallway. I was like, yo, you got trash bags? And and she gave me a couple trash bags. I suited myself up in trash bags, went back to my car, got the sweaty clothes I just cut in, and just fucking went on a run. Damn. And like I'm talking about, I'm running in place, like I'm barely moving. I felt my organs like turning around, like turning in my stomach. It was pain. At one point, I'm like crawling, and they gave me an extra hour to cut it. I got back with like 5 seconds to spare before I got fined. I think I was on the phone with them like minutes leading up until like them canceling the fight. And I show up and I made the weight.
Wow.
And so I showed up and I was a pound and a half over. I just needed to cut 0.6. I lost 1.2. Wow. So it took me like 45 minutes to even start sweating. Like I said, I'm just running with trash bags on in like the fucking Florida heat in like the middle of the summer. It was, I forgot what month it was, but it was rough, man. It was that Florida heat. And
in Florida, it doesn't really matter.
But so I made the weight, and this is the worst part. So I show up and I'm like dead. Like I'm like a skeleton. And my opponent is huge. He already looks like fully hydrated. He was like he was taller than me. So I'm a big welterweight. I'm 6'2". He was like 6'4". I show up. He's like already looks hydrated. He's got these like big chest, big upper body, but he's got pants on. So I'm like, oh, he's probably just got small legs. I was like, yeah, for sure he's got small legs. The next day I show up to the fight. He's boom, boom, boom. He's stocky as hell. And I'm like, fuck. How did he make the fucking weight? And thank God I got the guy out early. I finished him in the first round. But
damn.
But that was a hard weight cut, and like that one showed me like I got to work on these. I really got to work on these for my own health, because like I said, like I'm not a quitter, and I'm not like, I refuse to go up and like quit there and say I can't make the weight, because I already lost a fight. If I do that, like no, if you quit there, you already lost a fight. My problem is I'm probably gonna get carried to the hospital, because like I'm not willing to say I lost. You know what I'm saying? Like my health is gonna get jeopardized before I'm willing to like say, hey, take my purse. Right. And I know that about me, and unfortunately that's the way it is. So let me just make the weight like the safe way.
Damn.
No, I was just, it's so interesting hearing the differences in weight cuts. For instance, when we had Dream Killer in here, he said this very interesting thing. He was like, to me, weight cuts are like a ritual. Remember? I
Yeah.
It's a ritual before the bloodletting, I believe, were his words. And I was just like, huh. And he almost like, he sounded so calm about it. And I've had to weight cut in the past for wrestling, not 40 pounds, which is insane. But I was like, how can you talk so calmly about such a for me, what was always a miserable experience? And for me, the most I ever cut was 15 pounds. And that was brutal.
So no, he's got some sense. I do agree with him in that sense, because it is like that. It's like the ritual before you fucking go and fight. And like, usually if you stick with it, then you've been doing good. So it's like, it's that ritual of winning. You know what I'm saying? It feels good. It's that suffering before you can really like take the cake. Right. But it's fun in the beginning. Like in the beginning of the weight cut, it's like, yeah, I miss this. Like you get in the sauna for the first time in a couple months, you're like, yep, I miss this. Yeah, we're gonna eat. We're hungry. But then like you really get really hungry and like really dehydrated, and then like you don't want to be there anymore. Like that ritual turns into fucking hell. Yeah. And you drag yourself to the scale and fucking hopefully make it.
God,
you guys are another breed, man.
Yeah, man. What would be some of the I guess tips if there was one thing that you're like, wow, when I first started, I didn't know this little golden nugget about weight cutting that you could maybe give someone that's starting out now?
Time restricted eating, for sure. My body specifically, like if I stop eating after 8 o'clock, I'm good. The weight flies off. My problem is I'm a late night eater. Same. Like after a hard day of training, and I don't really realize I could eat a lot throughout the day, but as much calories as I'm burning, I go and lay down, and it's like I can't sleep on an empty stomach. It's really hard. Like I want to go to sleep full and lethargic and like an old fat man. That feels good. But you develop, it's bad habits. It is bad habits. It's not good for your health at all, and like you feel terrible the next day. Right. But no, time restricted eating, I would say, would be the biggest thing. Like not eating after 8 p.m. when your metabolism like slows way down, because you're not benefiting yourself at all. If you hadn't eaten anything that day, and like let's say like you have a crazy schedule, then like you gotta do what you gotta do. Right. But another thing is like eating right when you wake up. So right when the second you get up in the morning, like eat something. Put something small in your stomach. So I actually got this from David Goggins. And I did this in like my last fight camp. Like I change it up every time. Like it's weird. But so the second I would wake up in the morning, I'd like drink some water, and then I'll eat like a little bit of oatmeal, and I'll put some protein in it. And what that does, it starts your metabolism right away. So the second I wake up, I eat that. I'm not even hungry in the morning. I have to kind of force it down.
Right.
Within an hour, I'm starving. So what it did, it woke your metabolism up. And like, let's say I go on a walk or something, your metabolism's like, all right, it's time to get this day going. And before you know it, like, let's say I woke up at 6, I did that at 6. By 8 a.m., I'm starving, like starving. And then that's how you get your metabolism going. So that's how you burn more calories throughout the day. So then from that point on, I'm just kind of eating little meals as the day goes on. Like, I'm satisfying myself, but I'm never getting full. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm making sure I have the right nutrients in each meal, depending on what I'm doing that day, whether it's like high in carbs or high in proteins, high in fats, like depending on what I'm doing that day. But everything's portioned properly, and like I'm normally having 5 to 6 meals throughout the day. But small portions never being satisfied. And what that's gonna do, if you start early and end early, then you lose the weight real easy.
Damn. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, you know what I'm talking about? We have 3. I said 3 segments, and the last one is actually the quest for the truth. You know what I'm talking about? And in this segment, we ask our illustrious guest a random, emphasis on the word random, question from this here deck of cards. And here we go. I don't know what it's going to be.
What's it going to be?
All right, here we go. Collin, if you had to write a book, what would you write about?
The journey of a fighter. Yeah, the journey I got right now. Fucking the humble beginnings of the world's greatest fighter.
Hey,
that's what I would call it.
I like that. I like that.
You already have the title ready.
It was boom.
You're ready to go.
That's
Damn.
right there.
Christian,
that might be the one. Man.
Yeah, man. Christian, if you had to write a book, what would you write about?
Oh man, that is tough. I would write a book on. I have no clue what I would write a book about. To be honest. Yeah, no. The problem is I suffer from the paradox of choice, so there are too many books that I would want to write. I want to say I'd write a book about how to avoid the self-destructive demons who sit on your shoulder and listen to the good ones who sit on the other one.
That's a long title. It's a long title.
That's not the title.
It's a long title.
But those are the books that I like to read. Yeah. Like I'm into those. I like the self-help books and stuff like that.
Me too.
I've been a little into those books lately. You know,
Yeah.
those. They're nice.
Goddamn, give us a suggestion. If you had to write a book, what would you write about?
Sorry, thinking about it in case you throw that question to me. I think based off of how the past couple of years of my life have gone, that I could write a book about if you're gonna make a big change in life, how to kind of like plan for it and to go ahead and do it. I feel like a lot of people talk about if they're stagnant in life, if there are things that they don't enjoy, they're a little nervous to change, especially as an adult. And I did it pretty successfully. So
Doing
talking to a lot of people about that lately. They're trying to take the leap. So
doing stuff without regret.
Yeah.
Taking that leap.
yeah, I mean, like make a big change, but like plan for it so
Yeah.
you don't crash your
Exactly. Smart.
Damn. Yeah, we got a bunch of
I
good
need to read
books.
that book.
Yeah, we got a bunch of good books over here.
2 self-help books. We got a warrior biopic over there.
Yeah. We
I gotta
a
write
bunch of
that
good
one, too.
books.
We got yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a self-help book because he was on the streets.
Yeah.
He was misbehaving.
Street Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street Ninja. There we go. There we go. There we go. I like it.
That name's not a fairy tale, all right?
Hey, we got a bunch of good books over here. Mine would be a dark comedy. It'd be called it would be a dark comedy. It'd be called How to Lose a Lot of Money Making a Podcast. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be a great, you know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for that, the hardcover version. But I would always you splurge, you get the hardcover. You always get the hardcover. You know what I'm saying? Collin, my brother, before we start wrapping up a magnificent powerhouse of an episode, I do want to ask you what your motivation is. What keeps you going, man? We spoke about the blinders. We talk about your motivation, your dedication, your perseverance when it comes to this craft. What is it that keeps you going back to the gym day in and day out? The days that you are injured and you can't get out of bed, it seems that all that you were thinking about is getting back in there. And even when you can't physically train, like you said, you're training your mind with these self-help books or books that are going to aid your performance in one way or another. What lights that spark, man?
I don't want to live in poverty. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to live in poverty anymore. I don't want to struggle anymore. I want to buy my mom a house. She works super hard. You know what I'm saying? She like she worked hard for bad kids. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking. Yeah, dude, I want to buy my mom a house. I want to buy my dad a garage full of cars, like stuff he could work on. I want to I want my kids. I want generational wealth. I want my kids to be okay. I want,
right.
Like, that's why I grind every day. I don't want to keep struggling like this.
Right.
I want to wake up and everything that I've been manifesting, like all these goals that I have, I want to wake up and like stretch my arms and be like, damn, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's it.
Damn. Do you have any, talk to us about plans? I know you said, as soon as you're 100%, you're, taking any fight, but is there anything in the horizon right now? Is there anything that you're eyeing? Is there any promotion that you are interested in particularly? Talk to us a little bit about what's on the horizon.
So like I said, after like a couple more weeks of me getting the physical therapy, then I'll schedule a fight. I could schedule one right now, but I know like once I have an opponent and stuff like that, like this injury is gonna go out of the window, and I'm gonna be like back to training. I'm gonna show up fucked up. So I want to make sure that I'm 100% good before. But I was talking to my friend Mitchell Shamali from Combat Night. Yeah. So maybe before I go to the UFC, maybe I'll get one more in with Combat Night.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Go back to my roots and do it from where I started, and give commemoration for Josh Simon, who got me into this.
Of course.
And finish it off like that, man.
Hell yeah, man. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about your style? You said you pride yourself in having one of the best set of hands in the game. But you are also a brown belt. Talk to us about that ground game. Talk to us about that grappling. How do you always do you change the game plan every single time for a different fight based on what their strengths are? Or like you said, people change. So maybe you saw their highlights, and in 2020 they were, doing knockouts left and right, but people don't know, maybe for the past 2 years, this person's been doing jiu-jitsu nonstop. How do you gauge that?
My whole thing is like, my whole style, whether it's grappling, jiu-jitsu, anything, I want to make you look stupid. Like, I want to make you look like you don't belong in there with me. That's what I get off on. Like, that's when I feel good. I want to go back and watch highlights and be like, woo, shit, that was sharp, that was crisp. Anybody would like to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what feels good for me when I'm in the gym, when I can do stuff that other people can't do, and I can make them look stupid. That's my goal.
Damn. Does it bother you to have to sometimes play the game that is social media? Does it sometimes bother you, the fact that you can't just fully focus on training, going, knocking motherfuckers out, but you also have to, have a big social media following and, do this, do that? Does that part bother you? Do you enjoy that aspect? Talk to us about that.
No, because I'm terrible at social media. Like I was telling you, man, like when the fight comes around, I'm locked in. Like I forget, like I'm not posting anything, and I really need to start working on that more so I can get more exposure. Right. Because that's where you get sponsors and stuff like that. So you get more Instagram followers, you get more sponsors, you get people sending you free shit. I want some free shit. So
I love free shit.
Going into this next fight, like even I don't care how tired I am, I need to start promoting stuff. Right. Even, like just get myself some endorsements and stuff like that and start promoting. So that's something I really do want to actually start working on in the future. Right. And make that part of my regimen.
Damn. If you could have an opinion or a say as to how the general consensus is of you as a fighter and how people view you as a fighter, what would that be? Do you care about being perceived as the good guy, the bad guy? What do you kind of want to be perceived as?
Whatever, you see what you get. Like whether or not like I say something you don't like and I'm the bad guy, or I say something you do like I'm the good guy. Where like you see what you get. I'm not gonna change it for anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be myself, authentic, organic, 100% of the way. And however you perceive it, that's on you. Gang.
Has there ever been any beef post fight that hasn't been settled? That maybe after the fight, normally there's a show of respect. Not always. Shout out UFC 272. You know what I'm saying? But has there always been that sort of respect with your opponent, or has there ever been an opportunity where it still wasn't settled after the fight?
No, I've never had any beef. I probably need some. Need to spark my career up a little bit. But no, going into the fight, beef every time. Right. Hell yeah, no. Like I'm not your friend. I'm coming there to kill you, and you're gonna know it at face-offs because I'm gonna get up in your shit. Hey. And then after the fight, hopefully we can shake hands if I win. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, but no, there's no beef after. I just want to make sure I win.
Did you feel any animosity when you were at 272 from any other corners or anything like that?
I know some of his guys, they were talking shit to Colby and like whoever was there on stage. I wasn't on stage at the time. But if that that's good, those are my boys now, you know what I'm saying? Like I flew out to Vegas with Colby. I flew out there with my team. And if I'm with them in a circle and anybody comes up, any other teams come up, then yeah, it's going down. I want to be the first one to throw a punch.
Of course. So
whether it's another team or what it is, whether it's other coaches, you're not gonna get in my circle and talk shit when I'm in there with them defending them. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. Also, big shout out to Jonathan who was there as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big shout out to Jonathan. He's an amazing coach. You see now the strength, the conditioning of like all the fighters and the athletes in the gym.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. In some of these classes, strength and conditioning coach class, you got 15 active pros in there, all grinding, all with fights coming up, and he's getting all of them in shape. Everybody has 6-packs now.
Yeah,
that's something a lot of us lacked before. Everybody's in shape year round now, and that's all thanks to Jonathan Lopez. So
yeah, big shout out Jonathan Lopez.
John.
Oh yeah, God. What an episode of colossal proportions we have had today. Can we please give it up for our guest, Collin Lubberts? Christian, before we start wrapping up, talk to us. What do you have for the people? Is there any questions that you have for Collin before we wrap up?
Oh man, I have too many questions. There was one I was fixated on regarding Jacksonville again, but
of course
it slipped my mind completely.
Gotta do it.
And something about weight cutting, man.
It's such a. Are you doing a lot of actual like weights for the weight cutting, or is it more cardio based? I presume it would be cardio based.
No, full cardio and diet. And diet. No, the weights, you don't really want to do too many weights.
Right.
40
exactly.
pounds,
Because you think about it, you're not eating properly to lift weights. So
right.
If anything, your muscles are gonna eat themselves.
You're right.
40 pounds, that's the heaviest. That's the heaviest. Like that's 210 is me like out of shape. Like COVID happened and everybody's like, you know what I'm saying? That was in the middle of COVID.
And how'd you decide on a weight class? Did you try a different one, or was it always?
No, I started at 155 when I was an amateur.
Right.
But eventually I had to move up to 170, and I was stuck in that 155 to 170. I was stuck in there for a while, so I was walking around like 175 pounds, but I was too small for 170 and too big for 155. So I was stuck in there for a couple of years. So my first couple fights at 170 as an amateur, I was way smaller than the guys, and I lost a couple fights to wrestlers. Just I would walk in the fight that day at 170 and leave the guys at 185, 190. So I had to grow up a little bit, but that was gonna happen naturally.
Damn.
But now I'm a 170 now for sure. I got the perfect body for 170. I'm long, I'm lanky, and I'm gonna be a problem.
Oh, already is a problem. Collin, talk to us about social media. You know what I'm saying? Where can the people follow your journey to the motherfucking top?
You can follow me on Instagram at streetninja_170.
Boom.
And like I said, I'm working on the social media, guys. It's gonna get a lot better with the more fights I have coming up.
Yeah.
And just be prepared to see some great stuff happening, guys.
Hell yeah. You see all that good stuff on the screen. Christian's also got it, you know what I'm saying, ready to go. The man's a BTS king, you know what I'm saying? Christian, what you got for the people before we wrap up?
What do I got? I got this guy over here. I got you over here. What else do I need?
Yeah, straight up.
Honestly. I got Katya over here.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you need.
That's it. I got some stuff in development, but I can't talk about it just yet.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm
but stay
say.
tuned for that. Feel free to do the BTS, you know what I'm saying? Collin, before we wrap up, I do want to know if you... Yeah, this is what I'm going to wrap up with. If you could...
What you rapping with?
You know what I'm saying? If you could tell a young Collin of 14, 15 years old who's doing, you know what I'm saying, all these fully sanctioned fights that we were talking about earlier, if you could tell him anything with the knowledge that you have today, what would it be, brother?
Enjoy the ride. Have fun. It's going to get crazy.
Gang. Damn, that's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, what an episode for the masses. Can we please give it up one more time for Mr. Collin Lubberts? My brother, thank you again for dropping on by. It's been an absolute honor. You know what I'm saying? Every Thursday at midnight, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You go on Spotify, on Deezer, on Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But more than anything, go on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we got 72 damn cameras in here. That's why we got damn camera woman extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Give it up for the camera woman extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? I like it. So go ahead, go on the YouTube, subscribe. Every single Thursday at midnight, we have a brand new guest for you to check out. Christian, sign us off, my brother. Give us something for the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Midnight in Miami. We are signing off. Have a wonderful night.
Every Thursday at midnight. Holla!
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami, where you can push it to the limit. It gets real with only one and ill.